There is a new trend afoot amongst the ladies in America. More than ever before, women are pursuing meaningless, that's their word, pleasurable encounters with men whom they have no intention of dating or ever seeing again.
God bless them.
Shocking.
It's about time.
Shocking Arnie would dig this.
Well, shocking that you wouldn't miss holier than thou.
What is even more shocking, though, and I think, Dawn, you would agree with me on this, that in and of itself, if we're talking college girls,
You know what? At one point, we've been there. Most of us girls have been there, either in high school or college, early 20s. We've had our little fun and experimented a little, so we know what we like, we don't like, and you learn some stuff.
Right.
Okay?
Please, Dawn, don't refer to them as we. You have never been associated with that crowd, and you never will be associated with that crowd.
That's right, because I've only slept with 10 people.
Oh, 10 is the number today. Wow.
Okay, so it's
that
gone
lightning
from
bolt
17...
14 once, 11, 8, I think we had it at 8.
8, 4.
It's 4.
It was 4 for the longest time. I've never heard the number of 10.
Pitiful.
And Rob, does this count the 3 or 4 that have been edited off the list for some discretion or whatever?
Look, Dawn's rule is, Dawn, now, the rule for this month is she refuses to go more than what she can count on her two hands. So she has gone back in her head and she has eliminated a couple people who don't really count.
Oh, dear God in heaven. If you don't have anything planned for later on today, could you attach at least 4 more arms to Dawn so she can count those fingers too?
You know what? I've never been a hoe bag, easy, or anything like that. Right. No, I mean, they've all been guys I've had relationships with. But, Rob, there are some that don't count.
Like the
guy.
That
you, look back and you're like, what was I thinking? And you forget about him because it was just so, But
if you've remembered them, then you haven't really forgot about them, and it doesn't change the fact that you really did have sex with them. I also like the fact that you've eliminated one guy off your list because he is now dead. Which to me makes no sense at all.
Wrong.
It's like he never lived. Anywho, all of us, I think, we could give you, an out. I think it's even good for all of us, men and women, when you're young, to probably play the field a little. I don't know they have to have dangerous one-night stands.
No, gosh, no.
But the shocking thing about this new information is, in a Rutgers University survey, 78% of people, men and women, ages 20 to 34.
Oh, hello there.
78%, almost 80, almost 4 out of 5, say it's normal to have relations and not expect any commitment beyond the sexual encounter.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Whoa.
I applaud this lifestyle. It's about time.
36% of all women of all ages say it's totally acceptable to hook up with a guy they've known for, quote, less than a day.
What?
1 out of 3 women in all ages.
See, you know what? That's just irresponsible.
Woo,
you know what? Honestly, in this day and age, it's irresponsible. Where have you taken the time to get to know this person's past, their history? Are you really protecting yourself? You know what I mean? Not just from pregnancy, from, I don't know, any other kind of disease that's out there. And, for the most part, people don't even know they're carrying anything around. Right. So you're going to tell me half a day that you've known somebody, you're going to find out they're carrying the herpes virus?
Well, that's why you have safe sex.
Okay. That's fine. All right, good answer. But, I think Dawn would agree with this. There's more about this than just the physical safe sex AIDS STD thing. I mean, at some point, you got to stop having random sexual encounters that are meaningless. There's an emotional damage to women especially because, correct me if I'm wrong, young lady, sex is an emotional thing for women.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Were you talking to Dawn there?
Was it the young
lady
or the lady?
Shut up.
Both of them.
I'm concerned maybe that this is more of a sign of society changing in a way that maybe some of us aren't thrilled with. I mean,
this is another sign of women trying to be men.
Right.
They're trying to have sex without feeling emotion.
Now, this is people not getting hung up on the useless stuff anymore. Oh, when you call me.
Oh, jeez.
Please call me.
I see. The useless stuff.
Exactly.
Like caring about another human being. Like talking about your feelings.
Why do you need to talk about your feelings? Why do you need to care about a human being when all you want is booty? That's all you want.
That's fine.
All you want to do is hit it and get it.
It's just...
See, you're selling yourself short is what you're doing. It's like you're not worth the time for someone to actually get to know. It's like... You don't think very highly of yourself, is how I view it. You can be as successful as you want to be. That has nothing to do with self-esteem at all. I think that that's a low view of yourself, is that's what you think of yourself, that all you're good for is just a few hours of a good time with somebody you don't even know.
It's only sex. That's it.
It's not.
Why do you have to have a commitment now every time you have to have sex? I hate that. That is the worst. If we're going to have sex, then I need to know a lot about you. Why? All we're going to do is have sex once. I'm never going to talk to you again. You're never going to talk to me again. Perfect. Out. You get what you want. I definitely get what I want. Out.
I'll agree people get hang-ups about sex and what they'll do in the bedroom. That's a whole nother discussion. This whole thing of it's just sex, I'm sorry, that's what's led to, I don't know, babies born, without two parents, or a woman not even knowing who the father is, and, diseases and whatnot. That's what's this attitude of, no big deal, it's just sex.
I already covered that. I covered that with the safe sex part. What about safe sex?
You know what? Somebody who truly believes that it is just so okay to go out and doesn't even know someone and have sex with them, because I'll take, for example, I am someone who will get to know someone. They've always been a boyfriend or whatever, and I'm sorry, not every time we have even used protection. So you're going to tell me someone who cares even less than I would, oh no, wait, we can't even do an oral thing because you can catch STDs without actually having intercourse. Okay? So you're here to tell me that they're acting irresponsibly. They're also going to use everything they need to do when they're doing the other stuff besides the actual act.
This is where I think I'm a little uncomfortable with all of these older women, and I mean that older as compared to college age, taking the it's just sex attitude. We've always done that as guys for who knows how long.
Right.
Some of us never stop saying, it's just sex. But if we let the women become that way too, I'm wondering, that breaks down another barrier, another fail-safe. I mean, this is, I think, one of those differences in the sexes that maybe as guys we don't like to admit we love, but we need it. We need women to be the ones who force the sport of the chase, who force us to be a little responsible now and then when we're not maybe biologically predisposed to do it. And maybe this could hurt us, maybe letting women become this way.
And who are you going to actually end up with as a life partner if more and more of them are like that? Because for the most part, most of the women that you slept with, Rob, in your day, not a one of them you would have thought marriage for.
Mostly no, you're right.
Exactly. You ended up with a girl who, is perfect for you, but, you didn't look at like that. You didn't look at her like someone like that. Men very rarely marry a woman that is that easy and is that way. That's the girl you have fun with, and then you hope to find a lady who you can also have fun with in the bedroom.
Well, let me ask you this. Is it okay if I don't have a life partner?
Well, sure. But
it didn't make it sound like that. I mean, all these loose women that you go out and you have sex with, you don't find your life partner like that. What if I'm not looking? If I just want, random POAs?
I think the issue there for me would be, that's fine, and there's always been a segment of society like that, but I personally don't think it would be good if America became a society of people like that. We need marriage. We need structure. We need, 1 out of 4 of you that don't ever want to get married, that's great. But America is supposed to be a family values country, and is this maybe just another step towards degrading that?
Yeah, I mean, all these family values that we have in this country where half of all marriages end in divorce. We've got, parents beating their children using, electric shock sticks on them and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the answer to that...
I think this is the least of our worries.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not the least of our worries. And the answer to all those things you mentioned, which are very legitimate, is not for people to stop getting married. It's for us to go back to the family values that existed 50 years ago that we started breaking down with all of this make love, not war crap that we put out there in society. Phone number is 888-390-9850. There's a lot more to this study here. Hello, Elena.
Yeah, hi. I agree with you guys, and I agree with Don, but one thing I wanted to kind of give your listeners as food for thought, whether you believe in God or whether you don't, it doesn't matter. Most people can usually agree with this, and I think people have forgotten it, that the most powerful thing that we can do as human beings is to procreate and make life. And I think, whether you believe that power was given by God or whether you don't, that is the most awesome power we have here on earth. And, people just take it too lightly. They just take it too lightly.
Rob, I don't disagree with, going back to family values or anything, but Arnie brought up a great point. You said we're a society that needs marriage or whatever. Well, 60% of them are failing these days, or 50%. And secondly, if you are, just because you engage in the act of sex without the benefit of a relationship, to me doesn't make you a person who only is described by that behavior. You can, I think relationships can be a lot stronger if both sides are colored by the experience of having a relationship and just having times in life when you just had flings for fun, both sides. And I think that can only help a relationship because you've both been down the path, you've both done both things, and you know the story.
Let me take the first one, and Dawn can take the latter part of it. The reason that 60% of marriages are failing is because we have broken down all of the family values in America. It's because people are getting married for the wrong reasons. It's because we as a society are not demanding that people stay and fight for marriages. It's because we are allowing divorce to be okay. And again, the answer to 60% of marriages failing is not for fewer people to get married. The percentage won't change. The percentage will still be 60% if we continue to have the same moral bankrupt standard that we do right now in terms of our family values. The fact that 1 out of 2 or 2 out of 3 marriages are failing, it has nothing to do with the fact that too many people are getting married, which is what Arnie was kind of alluding to when he said, what if I don't want to get married? Fine, there's always been a percentage of people who don't get married. Raising that number will not lower the divorce rate.
I just wanted to actually a little bit elaborate on that in that we're deflecting. Marriages ending have nothing to do with now women being promiscuous. That is not the answer. Okay, marriages fail and they're horrible, so, hey, the answer now is for all women just to be promiscuous now and just have one-night stands. And you know what? Anyone can get married just like anyone can have sex, and both of them are not always a good idea.
Hello there, Tim. Good morning.
Yeah, I just want to tell Arnie to stop living in the 70s.
Can you
where everybody did whatever with whoever.
Now,
and it was no big deal.
Now, why, though? Why should he stop living in the 70s?
Because it's just not a good idea now, because you just never know who you're going to end up with. Because whoever he ends up with is probably doing someone else that same day or same night or whatever.
Why should I care?
Well, I don't know. Why should he care, Dawn? Why should he care?
I'm not so sold on why Arnie should care. No, I mean, maybe whether it be right or wrong, men have pretty much had this view that this is what sex is. And so to hear Arnie say that, I just almost expect it. Okay? And I feel that someday, and I may live in a fairy tale world, but I feel someday, because some of the girls that Arnie has fallen for, the few that he has, you can agree with me, Rob, they've been far from being a slut. The farthest thing, actually. And so if Arnie doesn't have, so that's where I know that he does. He may feel that way now as a guy, but we all kind of reach a point where we want something real and something meaningful, and it's always not with that person we were out having sex with and that girl that would do something with you within 10 minutes of knowing you.
Let's go back to something you said in the beginning about this, Dawn. A psychology professor at the College of New Jersey says women who are seeking meaningless encounters more and more are just copying what men have done for years. That's right. We're becoming more like what Arnie's attitude is now. But my question is, do we want our women to do that? I think we need women to be the buffer zone.
Yes. Because
for so many things.
It's normally a woman who gets you to that point. Rob found his wife, and it was like he had any desire to live a lifestyle that he had lived before. It's normally that right girl that comes along and you snap out of it and realize all those things that are really important to you, and it took the right person. Now, if you have every woman just continuously acting like men, we are never going to form families and get down to the responsibilities of life and help to continue building this country.
I am saying this right now. I will put a stamp guarantee on this. If Rob was not married and didn't even know his wife today, there's no way he would have said that. No way. I mean, women being more promiscuous now, it's easier for us. My life. My life is based on what makes things easy for me. That's why I only cook things in a microwave. I only go to fast food restaurants. Whatever is easiest for me. If I have to take a girl out more than 4 times before I get it, there's no reason for me to go out anymore. I mean, it's a hassle.
Look, if I was not married now, I am not saying I would not take advantage of this situation. Don't get me wrong. I would. I would sleep with the women who wanted to sleep with me, and I would prefer, if I was in that mode of just looking for sex, or when I was in a, you know how you get into, moments where that's all you're looking for,
Right.
I would absolutely take advantage of the fact that there were women that would sleep with me. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't be able to step back and acknowledge, wait a minute, maybe this isn't the best thing for me or society. I mean, that's two different conversations. Sure, I'd take advantage of it. And I think that's why so many of us guys are attracted to college girls, so we can take advantage of them, because they're the ones usually in the mindset that will do that.
Do you listen to the words you're using? Do you hear what is respectful about that?
Nothing.
You are being taken advantage of. You are thought of nothing. You are nothing. That is the way that, you know what, you should hear. You should hear the way guys talk about you. If you're one of these easy girls, you really should. You think you're all popular and you think you're all great and you're all loved and they like you? They talk so down about you and what a piece of trash you are. Oh, that's God. Isn't that great? Doesn't that make you love yourself knowing that's how a guy talks about you? And you know what? I'm glad there's girls like that for Arnie, for the stage he's in. There always have been girls like that since forever. All right? There's always been your loose girls. It's not like there's a shortage of them out there that you haven't been able to find. Okay, but if we're getting to a point of ridiculousness, no.
That's 4 out of 5. Hello.
This assumes so much ignorance and naivete on the part of all women. I just think that, first of all, I don't care what anybody says about me behind my back. If I choose to engage in promiscuous activity, be it a guy or a girl or whatever, live your life, do what makes you happy. People are talking about you behind your back, so that's life. Sorry, people are going to talk anyway. And secondly, to just assume that entire set of behaviors should or should not be done by women just because we as guys think we'll one day need relationships and marriages just doesn't seem to make any sense to me.
Hello, Gina. Good morning.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good. I'm taking a history class at Tech City right now, and it's a focus on women and gender, and this is exactly what we study about. And, the roots of going back to women's suffrage in the 20s and that kind of stuff, that was the first wave feminist movement. And they used the language of women being different from men, saying we need the vote of women to bring that different element into the political realm. However, it was the second and third wave feminists that have brought the language of, no, we are no different from men, and they're really trying to break the gender ideal.
That's right.
That are associated with our culture.
Yeah, see, now, I don't know. I mean, it seems like Dawn and I have the same gut reaction to this. I don't know for sure that this is another step in what we talk about so much on this show about women trying to basically take over the men and telling men that they're not worth anything. But it surely is interesting, isn't it? It sure does seem that way.
So that chick right there is one of those broads that won't give it up on the first date, right?
And Nick says he thinks that it's naive that you would care. I think it's naive for anyone to think they don't care. I think it's really naive for you to think that when it's all said and done, if they didn't overhear how they were being talked about, that they didn't care. That's a point of low self-esteem. And you know what? Maybe we all have the right to our own opinion, right? And I find it very hard to believe that you really, really love yourself and think highly of yourself if you're going out and allowing yourself to be used like this. And I don't care if you're a president of a company that has nothing to do with the value that you place on yourself in your personal life.
And if we're going to use the word naive here, then I don't want anybody to be naive enough to believe that there are women out there who don't treat men the exact same way and have been for a long time, treating men as sluts and men as whores and then going out and talking bad behind them, because we all know that women talk about sex to their friends just as much as men, and they get more graphic and more detailed, and they will talk down about the men as well.
And again,
and that's been going on before this study was out.
But do you want that number of women doing that to grow exponentially?
I don't care. I don't care. As long as I'm one of those slutty men they're talking about.
Hello, Jay. Good morning.
How are we doing, guys?
Super. How about you, buddy?
Yeah, two quick things. First, analogy semi here. On professional sports, Rob was talking about, would you participate in the activity even though you know it's dumbing down society? You look at a professional athlete who knows that an Alex Rodriguez making $150 million a year cannot be good for baseball or sports at all. But what fool's going to turn down $150 million?
Sure.
Okay.
You're right.
It's definitely going to lead to the ruin of baseball eventually. But you've got to participate. I have two teenage daughters. Okay, this whole topic kills me, scares the crap out of me. But my biggest concern, and I have a pretty good grasp on a relationship with my daughters, but when it becomes more the average and more the norm than not, it makes it so much tougher to reason and deal with the kid when everybody they know is doing it. Even their parents are doing it. I got kids, I got daughters who their friends go out in their short miniskirts with their mothers, and it's no big deal. They're out teasing and flaunting and hoeing, and it makes it very tough as a parent.
I think the biggest thing with this, and I would say this if I had a daughter or a sister or to all the women in my life that I love and care about, as long as you're in control of yourself and in control of your sexuality, that is everything. If you're being you can't let yourself be taken advantage of. If you're in control of yourself, then it's fine. There are guys who emotionally walk into relationships not ready and end up chewed up by girls who, are manipulative or can be manipulative emotionally, and it's the same situation to me. So it could be either emotionally or sexually. If you're in control of yourself, you'll be okay.
We still have that caller on the line?
Yeah, I think Jay's still there, I think.
Jay, where do these moms and these daughters in short skirts walk?
Okay, thank you, Jay.
You know what, Nick? You need to elaborate. What does that mean? What does that mean she's in control of her sexuality? I mean, how do you really know that? And all of a sudden that makes it okay for her to be a slut? Well, what does that mean? She knows exactly all there is to know about her body, that she knows exactly where to be touched, and not only that, she loves this or that. I mean, what does that to me is the most bogus thing I have heard so many times, and you know what? It sounds good. And especially if you're someone smart, you can make it sound really good, and everyone else just buys it. Oh, yeah, you know what? That's okay. The whore that she works with isn't in control of her body, so she's the whore. But even though she is a whore, she's really not, because she's in control of her body. What separates her from the other whore she works with?
I'm going to start with the foundation of your argument. I don't believe in calling somebody a whore or a slut because they engage in the act of sex.
I'm talking about an actual whore who gets paid for money.
Oh, a prostitute.
Okay, a prostitute. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You're telling me if you're in control of your body, then everything's okay. So so that's what separates? It doesn't make sense to me. They're still doing the same damn thing.
No, I don't believe in, as a whore, you are selling your body and selling yourself and selling your individuality. I don't ever believe in that. But if you're just engaging in a mutual, consenting adult relationship in which you are making an honest choice in your life based on however you assess the situation, to walk into it and say, hey, this person is hot, I decided to spend the night with them or hang out with them or have a good time with them or whatever. Now, you are accepting some risks with doing that. You're accepting the risk that the person is not an axe murderer or somebody who has horrible intentions in mind for you when you get alone with them. So that is you are rolling the dice, but this is your choice to do that, and you shouldn't be labeled as a slut or a whore because you choose to take your life in your own hands and roll the dice and live your life.
So then any other woman who hasn't been in control of her body and is not in control of herself, that has allowed herself to have sex, she's been raped? Because every woman who's gone into it and has said yes doesn't necessarily mean, Nick, they've all made the choice. So, because that's exactly what you said to me. If she's making the choice, she's in control. So all the rest of you've been raped, you just didn't know it.
I'm missing the argument. I don't understand what you're saying.
How could you not understand? You said to me, if a woman goes in consciously and makes a decision to have sex with somebody, she's in control of her body and that's okay. So I said to you, what about all the other, because in your eyes she's not insecure and she's got it all together. So the insecure girl who doesn't have it together that said yes and made the same choice was actually raped. That's what you're saying to me.
No, I'm saying as soon as you say no and the person keeps going, that's rape.
No, he's not understanding me.
I'm missing you.
Yeah, he's totally missing it.
Instead of using the word whore on the show for women who accept money for sex, can we call them entrepreneurs, please?
Hello, Katrina. Good morning.
Hi. Actually, my alarm just went off, and I missed probably the main topic of what this is about. I just wanted to comment on what Nick said, and he has it pretty right on for somebody who doesn't have kids as far as raising a teenage girl. And, I was a young mom. My daughter's now 16, and she dresses, really cute, and the mini skirts and all that too, but she has, the highest self-esteem and, no issues whatsoever. So she doesn't, I could trust her to go out with her group of friends and not be promiscuous and not disrespect herself. And, I don't know, what Nick just said was pretty right on, and for not having kids, that's pretty good.
All right, we're going to give Dawn a few moments to compose her reaction to this, because I see her jumping out of her skin. We got to take a break.
Whoa. Is Katrina one of those loose broads that likes to give it up all the time?
Phone number is 888-390.
Why aren't we talking to more of them? That's what this damn article's about.
The best of Rob, Arnie, and Dawn. The best of Rob, Arnie, and Dawn. The best of Rob, Arnie, and Dawn. The best of Rob.
I don't know, Dawn. Looks like you and I might be on the outside of this one based on these calls. New study says more than ever before, women are pursuing meaningless, pleasurable sexual encounters with men whom they have no intention of dating or seeing again. and it's women who are older than just the college crowd. Hello, Laura. Good morning.
Hey, you guys.
Hi, baby.
Hey.
Like your show.
Thank you.
But, like, I'm 40, and I have to agree with Arnie. It's just sex. There are women out there that just go, you know, I don't have to love you. I can think you're cool. I can hang out with you. I can go my way and do my life, and that's the way it is.
All right, Dawn. I promise you the first thing from that previous call, if you want to, because I have an answer to this just sex thing that I want to explain.
Okay,
Go
good.
ahead.
You know, well, the previous call came in a little late, so maybe thought we were talking about how girls dress and whatever. You know, how you dress truly is your own business. It really is, and it really does not say the person that you are. I really don't like that. If somebody sees a girl dressed a certain way and they automatically assume she's this way or that way, and you know, she could be a virgin for all you know. It's just kind of how she likes to dress. I am, and this is my own personal opinion, and what I've seen with most parents, I'm a little baffled when an own parent allows their child to leave the house looking, you know, like they want to have sex, you know, just the short skirts. I mean, most parents, mothers and fathers are like, I don't think so. You're not walking out of the house like that, because you know the perverts that are out there that now have more things to fantasize about. Not that they're doing it already with your fully clothed, but even, you know, more so. And it just, my whole thing is, I hope she does have high self-esteem. I hope it's not placed on the whole fact of what she looks like and the clothes she's wearing. Hopefully it's based on the person that she is, and then she just likes to wear those clothes.
You want to jump on this one real quick?
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole, I don't think then they should build any more convenience stores, because there's plenty of people out there that rob them, and now there's more of them out there, so these bad people are going to continue to do their stuff now with more of them there, with the dressing provocatively. You know, you said that even fully clothed, these perverts have ideas and fantasies about these girls. Now you're giving them more ammo. So people that rob liquor stores, we're giving them more ammo by building more businesses.
I understand what you're saying, Arnie, but Dawn was just saying that in her opinion, she wouldn't let her daughter go out looking that way.
I understand that, but I think we're just too fuddy-duddy of a society now.
Okay.
We're not that way anymore.
Okay.
This is not the 50s.
No.
As much as we want it to be, it's not.
And, you know, and probably just as a woman with, you know, younger years having eating disorders, my whole thing is, you know what, if you want to dress like that, I think that's wonderful, but I hope you don't place your whole value of how you dress and what you look like. I hope that, first and foremost, on the inside, you feel good about yourself, and you're only dressing a certain way because you like it, not because that's the only thing that makes you feel good.
Now, this all is the same thing of this just sex angle, because I think some people are missing my point here, because we're all discussing a lot of different points about this. My point is not that there are women out there who are engaging in meaningless encounters or who have the attitude it's just sex. Not my point. Those have always been there. My point is that this study indicates that number is growing rapidly. 4 out of 5 women between the ages of 20 and 34 have the attitude that it's just sex. My point is, the just sex crowd serves a purpose, serves a role. I don't judge them. I was one of them for a very long time till I got married. I think you serve a purpose in society, just like I think those of you that go to church serve an important purpose in society. I don't engage in it. I think it's needed. If suddenly everybody stopped going to church, do we not agree our society would change dramatically if we had no organized religion in America? What I'm suggesting is, if we're now going to have 4 out of 5 women engaging in the it's just sex attitude, along with 4.5 out of 5 men,
right,
we're going to become a different society, and I don't know if it's one that I am comfortable with. Hello, Cynthia. Good morning.
Hi. I just wanted to let you know that, you know, I agree with what Don's saying, and I agree with you, Rob. I think that, honestly, I have been on both sides of the situation, and I find myself in my 40s wanting a good relationship with somebody, but there are a lot of people that just don't have that attitude anymore, and it's really hard to find a good relationship with somebody now. Sex should be more than that. It should be way more than that, and I don't feel like people are taking the time to get to know people anymore, and it's just it's crazy. I don't enjoy it. I hope that Arnie finds somebody. I think deep down he really does want to find somebody. That is just a cover-up, his attitude, because eventually all of us, we don't want to be alone. And I did want to say I am a mother. I have a daughter that's 22, and I have a daughter that's 14. And I think that both my girls have good heads on their shoulders, and I hope that they continue their life in the way that they do. I think I've given them all the right avenues to be good people. But, Rob, you're correct. We do need to be more towards the lifestyle of family again. And I'm not saying go back to the 50s. There's no way we can do that. Our life is drastically different. But let's try to realize that there are people that do have good values out there, and I have experienced both sides, being sexually active and being in a relationship for 16 years.
Right.
So I just want to agree with you guys.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Now, Rob, you're saying, we're talking about feeling uncomfortable with the society of 4 out of 5, women now having sex just for pleasure. But you mentioned that you went through a phase in your life, or Arnie actually brags to me about the good old days when you would, hang out with lots of girls, have lots of sex and everything. And at that time in your life, that's what served you. That's what you were ready for. And now you're in a time in your life, or you have matured and evolved, and you have, a much more stable relationship and a wife now. What's to say that these girls who are doing this, that this is a time in their life when they need to venture out and explore their sexuality and do this, and there will be a time in their lives, just like with you, and just like with most guys who grow up and mature, where they're ready for a relationship.
That may be it, and I would suggest to you that what we've done to women over the last 30 years of over-empowering them and telling them that they don't need men has created what you're describing. And you may be exactly right. It may be that women at a later time in their life, like 30, are experiencing that phase that you're describing. What I'm saying is that good for society? Do we want a society where we have people not even pursuing relationships until 35 and 40 because of what it creates in terms of family values and procreation and commitment to others and maturation? Again, we all serve roles. We need a certain segment of our society to be promiscuous and have an open mind about sex. I don't deny that. But we also have to have a segment of society that is committed to family, that is committed to having children, that is committed to making love, and all of those other things as well. And it looks to me from these studies that maybe that's disappearing or dwindling.
I'm not going to be a part of that society. I'm just telling you this right now. All these people that say, oh, deep down Arnie wants somebody. You know what? Deep down, Arnie doesn't want anybody right now. Arnie doesn't want anything to do with anybody right now. Arnie has made bad choices in the past, and Arnie doesn't really, what word am I looking for right now? Man, I'm lost on a word.
It could be because you were speaking in third person. Hold on there. Hello, Laura. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, how are you guys?
Oh, stupid.
No, Arnie.
Go ahead, Laura. Give Arnie a break here.
Okay, I'm not calling to give him a bad time. I'm on as many of your female callers have called in, I'm probably pretty much the same as the older crowd where we experience some of those things. But I think one thing that we're all kind of forgetting with this issue is that so many women go through this thinking that they're going to behave and act just like men, and we aren't made up the same way. It affects us. One way or the other, it always affects us. And we either walk away from a relationship or casual encounters feeling less. And I don't care, these young women that sit there and think that they can, oh, that's not going to happen to me, and I'm going to be just fine, and I can act like any of the guys. They don't. Later on, it affects them. And so it really saddens me that so many young women aren't getting that, and that it is something that they should cherish, and it's something they should give when they're ready to somebody that's really special and not just spread it around.
Great. Thanks, Laura. Did you think of that word,
Yes,
Arnie?
I did.
Excellent.
It's Arnie doesn't trust Arnie's decisions that he makes.
Oh, I can understand
Because, I mean, look at the decisions I've made.
Pretty horrific.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, seriously. I'm not upset about it. It's just something that I did, and I put myself in that situation. You're supposed to learn from previous failures, and I never have. And now I'm starting to learn that maybe it's just not for me, and I'm okay with that. I don't care. I really don't care. I just want the loose girls to call our radio show and send emails.
When are you going to start learning about your poor decisions when it comes to your bad credit and spending money you don't really have? And
Okay, look, one thing at a time, all right?
Hello there.
All right.
Jerry, good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm kind of torn on this subject because my mom, put it in my head that if you have sex with one guy and you're going to have sex with all these other guys, then you're going to be a slut. And accordingly, I ended up getting married at 19 years old and then had a baby at 22, one at 23, and was divorced at 24. So my daughter, I've told her, I don't want her to go out and just have sex with any random guy, but I don't want her to fall for the first guy that she is with.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this subject.
Well, you know what? And I think what you're describing is how it's been. Now we've gotten out of hand. When you're saying 4 out of 5?
78% of women between 20 and 34 say it's normal to have relations and not expect any commitment beyond the sexual encounter.
See, that's the thing is, why does it have to work out that way, Rob? Why does it when we finally, it's like the point of ridiculous of you telling a girl, the first guy you hook up with, that's it, and then you marry him. Okay, that was a little much.
Sure.
Okay, and then we finally got to a medium of where, yes, experience relationships, have relationships with different men, whether it's sexual or otherwise, just so you know what you're looking for and you know what you want, and you're going to go through changes. That was all good. We finally reached a happy medium with that. Why does it always have to then come the extreme? Because now we've just completely gone away from that. This is no longer about a woman finding herself, knowing who she is, what she wants out of life, what guy would work for her, what guy wouldn't, what she does like in bed, what she doesn't like in bed. This is completely, and I'm going to come back to what we first said, this is completely, I already know what I want out of life. I've got my career, I've got my money, I've got my house, I've got it all, and here's what I want. I just want to have sex because there again, we don't need men, and you know what their next thing is if I end up with one, that's great, but if not, I know they're always there for pleasure, and you know what, the sperm bank's just down the road.
Hello, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
What can we do for you?
Well, my comment is, who's going to raise the kids? I mean, if we're all just running around having random sex, that's where our family breaks down, and the selfishness of just pleasuring yourself. You can't raise families, and so you're talking about no longer having children, or if only 1 out of 5 women are selfless enough to have a child, which is what you have to be, then we're talking about the end of procreating, of children. Who's going to take, who's going to do that? Who's going to take care of the kids and raise the kids?
A major change in our society. You are absolutely right, Kathy.
Kathy, I'm sure your life partner would raise those kids for you.
Hello, Kara. Good morning.
Arnie, State.
Good morning. I think it all started with the lack of dads in half these families saying, no, you can't go out and date 10 million guys in college and sleep around with different people.
And why? That's an outstanding point, Kara. And Dawn, I bet you know the answer to this question. Why is it that so many of these families don't have dads around?
Because they don't matter anymore.
That's right.
I can't even tell you how many women I have heard say, I don't need a dad. Fathers are so important, it's not even funny. That, you know what? Fathers truly help a girl form their self-esteem. Really. I mean, God, they are so important.
That's
but
right.
You know what? No, they're not. We can do it all on our own. You know what? Soon enough, I tell you, Rob and Arnie, you won't even be here because we're going to kill you all off.
Look how convenient men are. Oh, we need men for dads, but we don't need men for these other things. No, it's so convenient, the way that men are used. Men are the true sluts in this world. They're the ones that get used and abused. Whenever you need something, you come to a man. Always. If you need a dad, you come to a man.
Well, that seems kind of obvious.
Yeah, but when it's always the man's fault. If something goes wrong, if there's something going on in the relationship, let's say there's a loving relationship going on, what's wrong? Oh, it's his fault. He's always at work. It's his fault. He does this. He does that.
The best of Rob, Arnie, and Dawn.
All right, we got to wrap this up, but got a lot of people talking here. The phone number is 888-390-9850. A Rutgers University survey says 4 out of 5 women between the ages of 20 and 34 now say it's normal to have relations and not expect any commitment beyond the sexual encounter. 1 out of 3 women in all age groups say it's acceptable to hook up with a guy they've known for less than a day. A psychology professor at the College of New Jersey says this is about women who are copying what men have done for years. I told you there are a few other things. Let me just get these out of the way. The Journal of Sex Research, in a new study, has found that brief encounters with acquaintances, and friends are on the rise with women at the expense of traditional dating. A professor of culture at Syracuse University says, quote, young women now say that hooking up sexually is a way to feel connected without the baggage of an emotional relationship. See, now it's baggage to women now.
Sounds like
Thank
a man.
God. Thank God they finally see it our way.
As, let's see. And Syracuse University also says that more and more women, as they get on the career track, there's less interest in having relationships. Yes, what are you smelling?
You know what? I can't believe it took me long to see this, but I think there's a conspiracy going on. These women are just doing this to lure men in. And that way they can get their claws into them and give them all the baggage and give them all that stuff.
Hello, Buffy.
Stuff's not really going on.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
You know, the thing of it is when you meet somebody up at the bar and they just tell you what you want to hear, right? Telling you that they want the family, they want the commitment, they want the deep love. And all you want is someone, especially when you have children, you want somebody that's going to be there, that's going to be a father figure to your children, someone that's going to be there for you for the rest of your life, and then they never call you again. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's normally what guys in bars are looking for, though. I mean, I'm not saying that you'll never find a good person in a bar. I'm surely not saying that. But if you're going to a bar purposely to find someone to help you take care of your children, I would suggest looking elsewhere.
Yeah.
You are going to find men that are going to lie, and I would not be surprised if they don't call.
Hello, Brian. Good morning.
Hi, guys. How are you doing this
What's
morning?
up, dog?
Not much. You know, the 78%, girls can say that, but they're so full of it. I've had a couple of these, and they say, you know, all we're going to do is have sex, blah, blah, blah. You do it once, they call you 700 times in the next 24 hours.
So you think, Brian, that this is a case of women are saying that it is, quote, normal to have relations and not expect any commitment beyond the encounter, yet they don't act that way once you do it. They get clingy, as you're describing it. I would think 700 calls is clingy.
You know what? I think, honestly, the 4 out of 5 try it once. It's not like they do it all the time like men would do it all the time with different people each and every time. I think they try it once or twice, and then they get clingy. I think that's when they jump on the clingy. Because, I mean, the long-standing, you know, funny joke between men and women is that men can go out on the town with their buddies. So I'm going to get laid tonight. And then they still end up going home with their buddies that night. Same number of women, 4 women go out, their little gal pal friends or whatever, they go out. One of those girls says, I'm getting laid tonight. Guaranteed she's getting laid that night.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the long, now women are finally using that power. They use that power, and then after a couple times, they're like, oh, I want something special.
Did you catch that?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Dawn gave you an oh, yeah, like she's been there, done that.
No, I've seen it.
Yeah, right.
No,
A friend?
No, I'm just agreeing with him that, you know, it's much easier. I do feel sorry for men in that aspect. If a woman wants to have sex, she can just go out and find someone easily.
Right.
But a guy, it's a lot harder.
A woman like, say, our friend Donna.
No.
Maybe.
Hello.
Yeah, she's loose.
Laura.
Shut up.
Good morning, Laura.
Oh, my God.
Good morning. I'm 23, and most of my friends are around my same age, and I don't know, I'm wondering if this study was done more in areas that women think this way, because all my friends and I, we grew up kind of more in the foothills and that kind of area, and I mean, we would never think this way. We go out and we do normal things that young women do, but, you know, when it comes to having sex, that's something that's still very important. And
All right, well, thanks for your call. We appreciate it.
Arnie!
Laura, look, I don't have a geographical breakdown of where the study was done, and perhaps there are some family values still in the foothills.
They didn't break it down between the foothills and, I don't know, Natomas?
But we're moving on from her call.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't do that stuff.
You know what? She's the nerd in the group.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of her friends are promiscuous.
Ooh, not nerd. The ugly duckling, if you will.
Oh, you guys.
The best of Rob, Arnie, and Dawn.